Here's a great one coming up now. We are joined by our good friend Pat Combs, one of the best baseball men that I know. And Pat, I said one of the best men that I know. And welcome to you. It's good to see you. Thanks for being on with us.
Oh, John, thank you for having me. What a pleasure and honor to be with you. And congrats on this format. Love it.
Yeah, it's fun. It really is fun. Thank you. Look forward to us working some games together coming up. But you've been busy already. What's the start of the baseball season been like? College season been like for you?
Yeah, it's off to a great start. And I'll tell you, the thing I've learned early in this season is that there's a lot more parity in college baseball. And I think a lot of that can be looked at in terms of roster management with the portal and things like that. But yeah, early on, I've just been really impressed with the level of play. I think the level of college baseball has improved so incredibly much last 10 years. And I think a lot of that has to do with players that, could have gone on to pro ball maybe earlier in their career, but now they're looking at college as a different choice instead of going right to the minor leagues out of high school. That gives them that 2 to 3 years more of development time and maybe not as much pressure as when you jump into pro ball directly out of high school. But and also the development of college players. The coaching has never been better across the board. And you're even starting to hear major league executives talk about how the level of play in college baseball has improved so much. And they are now kind of looking at college as kind of a minor league, so to speak. And so when you look at conferences like the SEC or the Big 12 or the ACC, those are really AA type level play in baseball. So and you're hearing that from across the board with major league executives. So I think that's what's exciting about the college baseball game today, John, is that it is a tremendous brand of baseball.
Yeah, that's really good to hear, and it's fun to see, and it sure seems like that to me. I mean, you kind of verify what I thought just by watching. The game just seems better. They're more prepared. The coaching is really, really good. I mean, college baseball is a really good product, isn't it?
It really is. And I think you're seeing that played out, especially, when teams get to Omaha, the television ratings over the past 4 or 5 years have been trending up. It's just it's a really great place to bring a family. You're going to be entertained. It's a lot less costly than taking them to a major league game for sure.
Right.
I even, comparatively to some of the minor league teams, I mean, you're seeing such great talent. And I look at the player today, and John, I think you would agree, like in the last maybe 10 years or so, the physicality of the game has improved. So the strength and conditioning, you're getting baseball specific support staff that understand how to train players and make sure they're on the right nutrition. These players today in college baseball look a lot different than they did, back 15, 20 years ago. And I think that's just a testament to the colleges making those investments in their players, and then the coaching staff's obviously reinforcing, how do we help you get to the major leagues? And I love what, I was on a call with Mitch Thompson yesterday. I'm going to cover the Houston tournament, the Astros Foundation tournament this weekend. And of course, Baylor's going to be in that tournament. But Mitch made a comment. He said, he goes, I'm not going to talk to a player in high school or a JUCO guy or even a transfer guy that doesn't tell me my goal is to get to the major leagues. He goes, if you don't have that goal on your resume, then we're not interested in you. And so that's what you're seeing now at these Power 4 conference levels. It's like, if you don't want to play MLB ball, then you need to go find another place to play, because that's how the level of competition in Division I baseball is at the moment.
How about that? That's really cool. That's good to hear. What do you think about this tournament down in Houston this weekend? Am I right? I was saying earlier, are you going to do all 9 games over 3 days?
They finally got I think they got tired of listening to me for 9 games, so we're going to break it up this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good for your health.
I'm telling you, John, I did it for the first 4 or 5 years. I covered all 9 games, and it was by that Sunday night, it was rough. And especially when, if you think back, what was it, 5 years ago or something, when Baylor and Texas A&M played late in the night on Sunday, and that was the home run by Cascadden that won it late. Yeah, I think I got home about 2 a.m. Those were some rough days. But I love it, John. I'm so honored to do college baseball, because I love the game. I love this level, watching these players compete, to try to get to that next level. And it's great to see. And so, I'm looking forward to the Houston tournament. This will be my 14th year covering that one. Also did the 2 Globe Life tournaments here at the beginning of the season. So I did the Shriners Classic which opened up, a couple of weekends ago. And then last weekend did the AMG Bank Classic here at Globe Life and saw some tremendous teams. And then again, the lineup this week in Houston is going to be great as well.
Yeah, nice, close to home for you, as close as possible, right, at Globe Life.
That's right. It's just down the street.
Right. So who have you seen? Who played in those first two tournaments there in Arlington? What teams have you seen?
Yeah, I saw some really good teams. I'll kind of give you the highlights on a couple of the teams. So I got to see Arkansas. They look strong again. Auburn, I saw them this past weekend. They went 3-0 and played really well. And then got to see Oklahoma the first weekend. I think Oklahoma is going to be a surprise team this year. They were picked, I think, 11th or 12th in the SEC. Wow. But they looked really strong. Their starting pitching was a question mark coming into the season. But, a Skip Johnson coach team, they're always going to have strong pitching. They reloaded from their starting three that they lost to the draft last season. But Oklahoma looks really solid. I got a chance to see TCU. TCU's off to a slow start. They're picked number 1 in the Big 12, but they're currently 2-5 and kind of struggling out of the gate. And then got to see we'll see Ole Miss this weekend. So Ole Miss, Texas, Baylor, UTSA, Coastal Carolina, who's ranked in the top 10, and then Ohio State. So those will be the 6 I see this weekend. But so far I've seen probably 5 to 6 teams I think could be definitely postseason. Probably a couple of those teams I think are College World Series type teams.
Wow. Yeah. That's a great field coming up in Houston this weekend. It'll be tough for Baylor, but what have you seen from Baylor so far this year? And what'd you get? You told about your conversation with Coach Thompson yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's a more athletic team, which is it's kind of crazy to say because we thought last year the lineup was going to be very athletic, older, and they just didn't perform, quite up to expectations. We saw really strong pitching last year from Baylor, especially the closing role. I mean, Gabe Craig was, just an All-American, one of the best closers in Baylor history, if not the best. And when it got to that 7th, 8th inning and Baylor had a lead, that you could just chalk it up as a win. So this year, I think a more athletic lineup. I think there's some question marks, especially in the bullpen. The starting pitching has held up fairly well so far, even against great competition. So I think the good news is the way Mitch, created the schedule for the Bears this year, they're playing some really strong teams out of the gate. And he's got a much better barometer, I think. By the end of this weekend, he'll have a much better barometer about what his team looks like, where the constraints are, what they need to do to improve. I think right now I'd say Sean Snedeker is working hard with those bullpen arms to try to figure out roles. They've had some young guys that have just not performed as well as I think they're capable of. But some of that comes with experience too. So these guys are getting thrown into the fire, and they're just going to do nothing but get better from that experience. So I think what fans will see, though, is a much more athletic lineup. The Bears have 22 stolen bases already in 8 games. So this is a team that's going to get on base. They're going to run, try to create havoc. There is some pop in the middle of the lineup. I mean, of course, the big highlight was Tice Armstrong's 3 grand slams, early in the season. So, I mean, there is some pop there too. So I think for Baylor in the ballpark that they play in, it's a pitcher's ballpark. It's hard to hit one out of there unless that wind's gushing out, as you and I have seen over the years. So I think they have now built the squad and the roster around what they feel like is going to be more capable for the place that they play in.
And that's a great assessment. And I think Baylor played better than the record would indicate last weekend down in Round Rock. I mean, they played 3 really good teams and really were in all 3 of those games, especially that first game against then 7th-ranked Oregon State. Did you see what Dax Whitney did in that game last Friday?
Oh, man. And I asked Mitch specifically about that. He said, let me tell you something, because I've been doing this coaching stuff for 37 years. He's the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I mean, he's seen some really good pitchers, John. You and I know that. But he said that guy was out of the world good. Like, 3 pitches, all for strikes, great command, and he's throwing 98, 99. His average fastball velocity was 98.6 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wow. I mean, he could be in the big leagues tomorrow and be successful. He's like the Paul Skeens that could just go right into the big leagues. He definitely overmatched the Bears, but they hung in there. They lost that game 3-1. But Mitch said, "Hey, we're 1, maybe 2 innings away from being 7-1." And he goes, "We'll chalk up the Whitney deal with Oregon State." I mean, he was just a guy that was going to be very difficult to beat. But the other 2 games that they lost, he said, we're 1 or 2 innings away. We could have won both those games.
Wow. That's great. That's great assessment also. Pat, the games you've seen so far, just diving into college baseball in general, any trends you've noticed so far in the college game here early in the year?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the first weekend we saw 21 home runs at Globe Life Park.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah, 21. I mean, and usually, you think early in the season, traditionally baseball favors the pitchers early on, especially in college, because there's not a lot of ramp up time to the season. These student athletes get back to campus, that second week of January, and man, you've got really 4 to 5 weeks to get your guys ready to start. And so it's kind of like still feels like spring training in college baseball for the first 2-3 weekends. But I mean, just the amount of power I saw that first weekend was incredible. It seemed like the hitters were even a little bit ahead of the pitchers at this time. So we're seeing balls flying out of the ballpark. I wouldn't say it goes quite back to like 10 years ago when we saw, what was it, like 60 home runs in the College World Series that one year. But it does feel like either the ball's juiced, the bat's juiced. I don't know what it is, but we're seeing a lot more power. I think some of that could be chalked up to just a more physical brand of baseball in college now. I mean, you look at some of these hitters and they look like professional players, the way they're built, the way they've trained, just their body types. So that's fun. I think it's fun for the fan to come knowing that there's going to be some offensive output. Not so fun for the pitching staffs, but they got to figure out how to make better pitches too. So, but I'm seeing that the trend this year, at least early on, that there's a lot more power output, a lot more offense. And as we know, I mean, that usually brings the fans to the ballpark.
Yeah, that's good. And you mentioned it earlier, the 3 Grand Slam game by Tice Armstrong first of the year. That's amazing, isn't it? I mean, that goes to show you right there. Sometimes you go to a game and you'll see something you've never seen before, and that was a great example.
Oh, great example, John. And yeah, I think, when you think comparatively, it hasn't been done since 1957. It may be 100 years before we see it done again. You and I won't be here, right?
Right.
Yeah, really crazy to think. But, and also that, to get in that situation, right, there's a lot of guys hit home runs, but you got to have people getting on base before you get to that point. So Baylor really set the table well. And I think they've done that pretty well at the top of the order. There's still going to be some juggling for Mitch Thompson to try to figure it out. He's got, 2-3 young guys in the lineup. I will tell you for Baylor's sake that they feel really good about the young talent that they have brought in the last couple of years. The recruiting done by Zach Dillon and the entire staff, they really feel good about the direction of the program.
Yeah, I feel good about it. It's exciting. It's fun to watch, and I can't wait till you and I are together working some games, but that's coming up. But have a good time and enjoy those games down in Houston this weekend. Thanks for your time.
Will do it, John. Take care. Always good to be with you.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Pat Combs,